All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something pretty wild, hypno-channeling.
Oh yeah, this is going to be good.
We're going to be looking at Naomi and Jessica over at the HypnoVibes YouTube channel.
You know, the one where she hypnotizes her to channel her higher self?
Yeah, exactly. And, I was going through their videos and I found this idea of learning through challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And that really got me thinking, like what if shifting our focus could actually change the situations that we experience?
It's interesting, right? Because when you think about hypno-channeling, it's not just about manifesting material things.
Right.
It's this idea that we're tapping into this higher consciousness, almost like accessing this universal knowledge through the channeled energy.
It's almost like Jessica's higher self kind of acts as this guide, right? Like offering wisdom and insights based on, Naomi's questions and experiences.
Yeah.
It's wild. So one of the things that really struck me was Naomi asking about how we can still learn and grow if we're constantly shifting our focus towards more positive experiences.
Right.
Wouldn't that just create a life without any real challenges?
I mean, it's a good question, and Jessica's higher self has a pretty interesting perspective on it.
Okay.
Basically, challenges, or let's say obstacles, are actually what help us grow.
Okay.
They're opportunities for us to kind of see what's not working, and then consciously make different choices.
Instead of seeing challenges as setbacks,
Yeah.
we can reframe them as these valuable lessons.
Exactly. And that's such a subtle shift, But it's really powerful by sort of leaning into challenges. We open ourselves up to this deeper level of learning and self-discovery.
So this ties back into the whole reality creation thing we were talking about.
Right.
It's not just about attracting positive experiences,
Right.
but realizing that every experience, even the tough ones, plays a role in shaping our reality.
Totally. And what's even more wild is that the idea of learning, it's not just about overcoming obstacles. It's just an inherent part of life, whether things are smooth sailing or, we're facing a storm.
Okay. So Jessica's higher self is kind of saying that it's about feeling and experiencing life fully rather than just overthinking everything, right?
Yeah, sometimes our brains can actually hinder our growth,
Right.
We get so stuck in trying to figure everything out that we miss the wisdom that's just in the moment.
I feel like that's when you go to a beautiful sunset.
Oh, yeah.
You're so focused on taking the perfect photo that you forget to actually be present and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of the story that Naomi tells about what happened after Jessica left the train.
Oh, yeah. When she had that weird encounter with that guy.
Yes.
He's he came out of nowhere.
Right.
Started yelling at her.
Right.
And then he just vanished.
Everyone on the train was just like, what?
Yeah, exactly. But what's so interesting is how Naomi reacted.
Right.
Instead of getting angry back, she just stayed calm.
Yeah.
And said, thank you.
I bet everyone was looking at her like she was crazy.
Oh, for sure.
But then Jessica's higher self offers this really profound explanation.
Okay.
Saying that every interaction we have is actually a mutual exchange. It's a reflection of who we are and how we choose to react in that moment.
Whoa, okay. So it's in a way, the guy yelling was actually unknowingly playing a role in Naomi's growth.
Yeah.
And she played a role in his experience too.
Right. Because by responding with peace instead of, escalating the situation, she shifted the energy of the entire interaction.
So even experiences that seem negative can actually serve a purpose.
Yeah, think of it like an orchestra. Every instrument has its own unique part to play, right?
Yeah.
And even those discordant notes contribute to the overall symphony.
So it's all our experiences come together to make this grand symphony of our lives.
Exactly. And that's how we evolve.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful way to look at it. But how can we actually apply this symphony of experiences idea to our own lives?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's something we'll definitely explore further as we keep diving into this whole hypno-channeling thing and the idea of creating our own reality.
Absolutely.
As we're talking about this symphony of experiences idea,
Yeah.
it's not just about what happens to us, our external world.
Right.
It's also about what's happening inside, our thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah, that whole change your thoughts, change your world thing.
Exactly.
But how do we actually change those deeply ingrained patterns, those beliefs that might be holding us back?
Well, that's where this whole hypno-channeling thing comes in. It gives us a way to explore those subconscious patterns.
So you mentioned before that it's about tapping into a higher consciousness.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? How does that even work?
Okay, so imagine this vast library of knowledge and wisdom
Okay.
that goes way beyond what we're aware of on a daily basis. That's kind of what we're talking about with higher consciousness.
Okay.
It's this universal database, and with all this information and insight.
And we can tap into that through hypno-channeling.
Exactly. It's hypno-channeling is the key to that hidden library inside of us.
Wow, that's a cool way to think about it.
Right. And so hypnosis kind of helps us bypass the conscious mind,
Okay.
which can be a filter, And it lets us access those deeper levels of awareness where all those beliefs are stored.
So that's where the channeling part comes in.
Yeah.
Like with Jessica's higher self.
Exactly. Like we're connecting with an energy or a consciousness that's outside of ourselves.
So it could be like a spirit guide or even just a universal consciousness.
It could be a lot of things.
So we're basically combining like the power of hypnosis to get to our subconscious with the wisdom of this external energy.
Exactly.
To get these insights and guidance.
That's it. And what's really cool is that the information that comes through often really resonates with the person, even if it's something they've never consciously thought about before.
Like those aha moments.
Yes, exactly. It's like they're remembering something they already knew deep down.
So it's one thing to have these insights, but then how do we actually integrate them into our lives?
That's the key, right? We have to embody them, live them.
It's not just about like understanding it intellectually.
No, it's got to become part of our experience.
So we're actively using that information to create change.
Absolutely. It's like, learning a new dance move.
Okay.
You can watch someone do it a million times.
Right.
But until you get up and try it, you won't really get it.
So it's about taking those insights and then like experimenting with them.
Yeah, see what works for you.
And it takes practice.
Of course, like any new skill.
So creating this new reality, it's not about instant gratification.
No, it's a process, a journey.
And we don't have to do it alone, right? Like there are resources out there.
Absolutely. Like, Naomi's book, The Next Level You.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
It's a really great resource.
And then there's their YouTube channel, right?
Hypno Vibes.
Where people can actually like see hypno channeling in action.
Yeah, it's like a window into the subconscious.
What I like about their channel is that it's super approachable.
Right.
It doesn't feel intimidating.
Totally. They make it feel like anyone can do this.
Yeah, like you don't have to be some kind of mystic.
Exactly.
To tap into that inner wisdom.
Exactly.
And that's really empowering.
Absolutely. Like we're all capable of creating our own reality.
We just need to learn how.
And as we do, and we start to see how everything's connected, the possibilities are just endless.
It's like a whole new world opens up.
It really is.
But how do we actually start to integrate these ideas into our everyday life?
That's a great question. And it can feel overwhelming at first, but there's some simple things we can do.
Okay, I'm definitely interested to hear about that.
Yeah, let's dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we've talked about hypno channeling and creating our own reality.
Yeah, how even challenges can actually help us grow.
It's all really fascinating stuff, but like, how do we actually, use these ideas in our everyday lives? Where do we even begin?
Oh, well, that's the big question, right? And it's cool because everyone's journey is going to be different.
Right.
There's no one size fits all answer.
Okay.
But there are some practical things we can all do to start aligning our reality with, what we actually want.
So what are some of those starting points? What really stuck out to you in terms of things people can actually try?
One of the most powerful things, and it sounds so simple, is just being aware of your thoughts throughout the day. Just notice those stories you're telling yourself.
Okay.
Are they positive and uplifting, or are they full of fear and doubt?
So it's about listening to that inner voice.
Yeah.
And figuring out if it's helping us or holding us back.
Exactly. And it's not about ignoring those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
It's more about acknowledging them and then choosing to focus on something more positive.
So we have the power to decide which thoughts we give energy to.
That's it. And another really powerful tool is visualization.
Oh.
Take some time each day to really imagine yourself living the life you want.
Really vividly picture it.
Yeah, feel the emotions, sense the energy.
I've heard about athletes using visualization.
Oh, yeah.
But I never thought about using it for other things.
Well, you can use it for anything. The new job, a relationship, just feeling more peaceful.
Wow.
When we visualize, we're basically imprinting those images and feelings into our subconscious.
Okay.
Which makes us more likely to take actions that actually lead us there.
So it's a combo of mindset and action, right?
Yeah, you can't just sit back and expect things to happen magically.
We have to create that space for those new beliefs to grow.
Exactly. And then take action that aligns with that vision.
Speaking of creating space, what about things like meditation?
Oh, meditation is huge.
Yeah.
It helps quiet all that mental noise that can be so distracting.
Right, right.
And it lets us connect with that deeper wisdom within ourselves.
So it's clearing out the clutter.
Yeah, so that inspiration and clarity can come through.
Okay.
And remember, it's a journey, not a race.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself.
Celebrate those small wins along the way.
And trust that, you're right where you need to be in this moment.
It's so easy to get caught up in that hustle mentality.
Oh, I know.
And feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah, but remember, real change takes time.
It's a process.
And it's often those challenges, those moments that really test us, that actually push us forward the most.
Right. Like Jessica's higher self said, challenges are opportunities to see what's not working.
Yeah, and then make a change.
Those times when we feel pushed to our limits are actually the times when we're growing the most.
You got it. And remember, you're not alone in this.
Right.
There are so many resources out there, like Naomi's book.
The next level.
Yeah, and the HypnoVibes channel.
It's amazing how much we can learn from other people,
Right.
who are sharing their experiences.
It's like we're all in this together
Supporting each other.
as we, awaken to our full potential.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It really is.
We've covered so much today. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
Remember, you are the artist of your own life. You have the power to choose your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions.
Yeah.
And those choices create your reality.
Powerful stuff.
So embrace that power. Experiment, explore, and dream big.
That's what it's all about.
The possibilities are endless.
Well said. And to our amazing listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into hypno-channeling.
And the art of creating reality.
We hope you've learned some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to create the life you truly desire.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep shining your light.
See you next time.
I think it's different. That I was talking with Jessica the other day about what I realized, that we really are creating our realities. And actually, regarding that part, I want to know something that I do understand, but then I have more questions about this. So let's say if we don't feel excited about what we're experiencing now, let's say, right? And you say, then, right, I don't have to keep creating that. I will do something different, right? I will find a different way. So I feel, yes, we can do that, and that excites us more. But then at the same time, then how can we learn? We just keep shifting?
Because when you follow what excites you the most, you will be put in situations where you will have to learn something
from that
from any situation.
So okay.
It's not like no one has no beliefs.
Right.
It's not going to, in a way, for most people, it won't be a smooth path.
Say the last sentence.
For most people, it won't be a smooth path.
Right. So
there will be what you see as challenges and obstacles, but those are really just to get you to see clear what's within your system and to get you to choose as a creator, what is it? What are the choices that you want to make, and what is it that you really prefer to experience?
Right. So that would not eliminate the challenges, because we still will have.
Challenges are just situations where you can see what's not working for you.
Right. So I want to know if I see something as a challenge, and then, so I shift my focus, let's say, and then I will have a different situation. So I still will be learning. Let's say that situation is more exciting. But
as long as you are doing and living, you are experiencing and learning.
I see. That answered my question. Yes, it's not going to be.
There's no need to think too much. Oh, what am I learning from this? Just experience it. Just be. You're overcomplicating this with your brain.
Right, I know.
Analyzing everything, not feeling it.
Right. I even know that. But I feel, oh, this is the question. So sometimes we don't know that's the question from the heart or from the brain. But that's good.
Both are fine. Both serve a purpose.
And why in the mushroom journey, I feel like, I have so many questions than ever. And I feel the questions were being answered.
Because that's the experience that you seek.
All right. So the question to you is that they were talking about this, and then after Jessica got off the train, and there's a guy, is a man, and he came from nowhere, and then he was smoking a cigarette, and then he just came to me for no reason, screaming at me for probably 15 seconds. And I did not hear much about what he was saying, but I felt like, wow, I must create this. So I did not felt like he put me in any negative emotions. And I said thank you to him. But do you know what this is about?
As I said earlier, everything is mutual. He showed to you that who you are and how you really want to react to situations, and you showed to him that not everything has to be so explosive.
But I wouldn't be able to do that before. So obviously, I know from that point, I can deal with a situation like that in a way that, right, it's almost like, right, something happened, but I don't need to react.
Yes. You were still reacting, just in the way that you think better serves as who you are and better represents who you are.
Definitely. Because the people who are in the train, they were very shocked. They don't know what happened, and they felt bad for me. It did not happen for no reason. I maybe created that reality and to say, let's see how I'm going to feel about this.
It served both. It's more like everything is in symphony, everything is an orchestra, everyone has their own part, and every puzzle fits together perfectly in that sense.
So
You wanted to create it because you felt like it was time. He also wanted to create it because it was also what he needed.
That's interesting. Like he needed as well. Very good.